Hey, you guys! Good job, Dan!
Thanks!
So well. We're thankful for Annie Osborne vocals here. Dan didn't want to do Hey, you guys!
I was willing.
Okay, you want to try it? How would you used to do it?
Hey, you guys.
It's good. Can you sing it?
No.
You can.
Not like
Just
Annie.
try.
I don't know how she does it.
Just try.
Okay.
Just try.
Hey, you guys.
So good, so good. All right, guys. I'm so excited. I have Dan Kreis here with me this morning, and he's really excited to be here.
Yep.
He planned a lot for this, and he knew it was coming, and he's been looking forward to it.
All lies.
He got his hair did for it.
I did do that. I shaved it last night.
All right, guys, Dan, fun fact, Dan was one of my youth ministry professors when I did my undergrad at King University. So we go way back.
For about 5 minutes. Actually, I'd never had you in class.
Well, he tried to be my advisor.
Yes.
You did. You were there.
You let my kids surf down the stairs. Remember
That's
that?
right.
We came over and
I
they were
forgot
bored
about that.
to tears. And she got a mattress out and they were mattress surfing down the stairs.
That's right. Okay, so another
Highly
fun
illegal,
fact.
by the
It was
way.
yeah, it was probably not safe at all, but I mean that's what we do. So Dan moved here with his family from New Zealand to Bristol, Tennessee.
Yeah.
That's a big change.
Yeah, it's a big change. It was rough.
and so they were real young, and like I want to show them a good time in Bristol, and I lived in the dorm, and so I went and got the mattress off my bunk bed in my dorm, and I took the kids mattress sliding down the stairs. But I'm telling you, these mattresses aren't very thick, so it was a little dangerous. I'm not gonna lie.
It was. And it's Bristol, so a good time in Bristol. Mattress sliding's about it.
But then since then, you've really discovered the goodness of the outdoors here.
Oh yeah, we love it.
And so I know that another fun fact is that I had his daughter on, Danae, a couple weeks ago, and so she's now doing youth ministry. She just left and went to New Jersey. But Danae was just saying one of her favorite things about Bristol is just that you have so many outdoor options. And so Dan is an avid biker, and would you say it's street bike or mountain bike? You do both, right?
Road bike mostly, but
Road bike.
we're going mountain bike this afternoon.
Okay.
Taking the girls.
That's awesome. What else do you like about Bristol?
What I like about Bristol, I like the people.
Okay.
It's fun. It's good. I love the outdoors, so that's been really good. I love teaching people about the outdoors, and that's been a passion of mine for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm taking some father and son. I'm guiding them on Sunday. We're going to go take them fly fishing for the first time. So
That is so
people
cool.
from church. So
That's so cool.
It's pretty cool. I'm excited about that. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you also do fly fishing.
yeah.
Did you guys know that if you're not from Bristol out there, I don't really know who watches these videos, honestly. You just see the count going up. You don't really
Right.
know where they're watching from. Bristol is one of the best places to fly fish. We got the best river,
Yep,
and
it's
so
true.
so it's really cool to drive out there and see everybody out there fly fishing and
It's fun.
it's
Kayaking's
just-
great. Cindy and I went kayaking last night. And
yeah.
the
And
lake
just
is
being out on the lake.
fantastic. Oh my goodness.
I mean, I got a pontoon.
Yes.
I like being on the pontoon. And camping. That's one of the
Yes.
things I don't think a lot of people don't know is there's all these little islands, around the lake, and you can just pull your boat up,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the center's cleared out.
Yeah.
You just camp it's beautiful. It's really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
So-
Lots of good times. It's a great place.
It
Even
is.
in the wintertime, it's good. It's not humid here. Everyone complains that lives here about
Yeah.
the humidity. They don't know what humidity
They don't know.
is.
They
They
don't
have
know.
no idea. Atlanta, Washington, Philadelphia.
All
Ooh.
these other places.
Yeah.
Well, but it's nothing compared to New Zealand. New Zealand is
Beautiful.
beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So I met Dan right as he's making this transition. A little culture shock. He had an
Still
accent.
had an accent,
He
didn't he?
had an accent. Now he's got this southern accent back. I
Yeah.
love it. And so Dan has been really instrumental in this season at the church because he is in between jobs, and we needed him big time
Putting
here
it
at First
mildly.
Pres.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
that's the
It
reality
is.
of it, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, he has stepped in and has led worship and preached and has been incredible and such a gift to our congregation during this season. And we've got to spend a lot more time together. We haven't seen each other this much.
Staff meetings, woohoo!
He gets to sit through staff meetings. It's his favorite. So anyway, it's been really, really great to kind of go full circle and do life at the very beginning, and then be, it's almost like 15 years
At the very
later.
end?
No, I'm saying like 15 years later, like,
yes.
Here we are. I hope this isn't the very end. Are you
know.
trying to tell me
I
something
have no
on
idea.
camera?
I didn't know what you
Don't
were
tell me
saying
right now.
about
Don't tell me right now. So anyway, but one thing is that this Sunday, it just happened that Dan is preaching, and both of our pastors are going to be gone this week. So Dan is running the whole show. He's also leading worship, and it's gonna be
Fortunately,
awesome.
Annie's still around.
Annie is here. So it's going to be great.
Fortunately for everyone concerned. Yes.
Yeah. So, so I asked Dan, I was like, hey, a little warm up for Sunday. Would you get on to share a little bit about where you feel like God's leading you this Sunday, and just kind of what has been on your heart as you've been preparing to do the sermon, to lead worship on Sunday morning?
Yeah. Thanks, Katie. Good to be here.
I just asked him a few minutes ago if he
Yeah.
wanted to jump on.
It's all good.
So,
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about all that's been going on for all of us the last, 12 weeks now, between COVID and all that nonsense, and then, of course, all the racial and social unrest that's occurred after that, the riots and that kind of stuff based on the police interaction with African Americans, and that just kind of brings up a whole lot of things. Those things don't happen. I mean, COVID, no one saw that coming, but this other stuff, it's percolating for generations. And so, I just recently finished writing my dissertation, and dissertation was on the church and why the church is not more reflective of society in terms of different ethnicities and people from different backgrounds and all that kind of stuff. And that disturbs me, because when I read the Old Testament and the New Testament, I see consistently God's design for what I call a multi-inclusive church. So it's not just about multi-ethnic, it's about people from all walks of life, all kinds of different backgrounds. So men and women, young people and old people, people with highly educated people, not so highly educated, people from all socioeconomic strata, all that kind of stuff. But that's just not normal in the church, because it's hard. And yet, I think it's vital. I think it's important. And I think the generation of young people are going to be the ones that, if they capture the idea and really become passionate about it, they're going to be the ones that transform the church.
Yeah.
And it has to happen.
Yeah.
What I call emerging generation, so anyone under the age of 40, but really those under the age of 20 are going to be the most diverse generation ever in the United States. There will be no majority in that demographic, so there'll be no racial majority in that demographic, and you can see by the way that they're responding to the Black Lives Matter movement and all that kind of stuff that they're passionate about different things than previous generations. And if the church doesn't come on board with that, it's going to be tough times.
Yeah.
So the message this week is going to focus on that a little bit, and what do we do about that, and what does God say about the need for us to be multi-inclusive? Yeah.
So what would you like if we were getting to be up in front of students right now, which I miss being.
Yeah.
This is not fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun being
I
with
get
you.
it.
Okay, but this. Anyway, what would you say? Like, how would you encourage students to grow in that, to be more aware, to learn more?
I think all of us, so it's not just students, all of us need to be intentional about pursuing relationships with others. People different from ourselves. And many of you were, in a couple of weeks we're having senior Sunday. A lot of you guys, if things go as we're hoping things are going to go, you're going to go off to college and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty normal to gather around people just like you, because that's where we're comfortable.
You gravitate
But
towards that.
you have opportunities. There are all sorts of clubs and organizations and all that kind of stuff. You have opportunities to do things completely differently. And hear different stories. So that's the first thing I would say, just pursue relationships. Shane Claiborne, who as an author and kind of a famous, I guess is the word, activist, if you like, lives in inner city Philadelphia, he says it's not that Christians don't care for the poor, they don't know the poor.
Yeah, they don't know their story.
They don't know the story. So and I think the same is true when, we watch Black Lives Matter movement, or we see, other kind of ethnic tension and all that kind of stuff. It's not that people don't care; they just don't know or understand. And the other thing I would encourage is, a friend of mine in my doctoral program always, said this consistently. He said, "God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, and we should use them in proportion." So we should listen twice as much as we speak, particularly when we're talking about and engaging with others. Just hear, listen, learn, grow. So that's what I would encourage.
Yeah, and I know like we've been doing a lot of work at the food pantry. And so like a lot of times they're like lined up outside and I'm standing at the door and they're waiting to come in one at a time. And one of my favorite questions has been like, tell me your story. Like, what is that? And I've heard some wild stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and it's almost like they just don't think I really care, so they're just going to tell me some off the wall like craziness. But then I've heard some really, really sad or just like one guy this week said, I said, "What's your last name?" And he said it was, I can't remember what it was, but it was really cool. And I was like, "Well, that's a fun last name." And he goes, "Well, it should have been this other name, but in the Korean War, my grandfather had to go into protective services and had to have his last name changed. And so now I have a different last name." And so it's like, this, I would, you never know
no
that.
idea.
Like, holy cow, that's really, really cool. So anyway, that's a big deal, just to stop and to get outside yourself. And just ask somebody their story and know.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable.
It is.
The other thing I'd caution, because in saying all that, particularly those of us who come from what's currently the majority culture, is that we make it the obligation of people that have different ethnicity of us to inform us, not their responsibility. Not their responsibility. So something happens and you go to the only African American friend you have and say, "Oh, why did this happen?" Or "What did that? Tell me about this." I'm like, well, maybe you need to do some work on your own and not make them responsible for every time you have a question.
Yeah. And then I think like when I had Shaka on a couple weeks ago, he said like, I do want to just like, don't be afraid of asking questions. So like he wants the dialogue to be open.
Yeah. It doesn't mean don't ever ask.
But don't like just constantly get all your sources, figure it out. Get all your sources from one person. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, sweet.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate you jumping on with me this morning.
It's all good.
I said, Dan, do we need to get a Bible? He said, I have it memorized.
Which is not even close to true, but.
So anyway, guys, we are in phase 2, and so we're starting to get together and hang out, and so be looking for that information. On Wednesday nights, we're going to be doing some stuff, and we're starting.
And feel free to invite Jason along. I don't know. Drag him somewhere. I know he gets invited. I don't mean you. I mean all these people that might be watching.
Yes.
Like, come and pick him up.
Reach
and
out.
Him. I'm tired of seeing him.
I know that the girls nag him about coming.
I have no doubt.
For sure. So anyway, Jason is going to be a senior this year, and so it's exciting. You're about to.
He's got a mullet and a half right now.
It is a beautiful mullet. It is a.
Somebody asked him if he got a
mullet.
perm because it's so curly in the back.
Is. Did you have curly hair? I've never seen you with hair.
We're just gonna bypass that. Actually, yes, my hair was curly, not as curly as his. He looks like my mother.
Oh.
My kids actually call him Grandma sometimes. I knew you see him and happen just call him Grandma Christ. See how he responds.
Oh, okay.
He'll appreciate it.
He lives in the lake pretty much. So
he pretty much does.
Anyway. All right, guys. Well, we love that. Thanks for joining us. And I'm really thankful that Dan was willing to jump on this morning and hang out with us. And it's just fun.
Yeah. So it's phase 2. Come to church.
Yes.
We want to see you.
We do.
Great.
It's really
We're
fun.
not allowed to touch, but we can see you.
You can go outside
Yeah,
and
we
then
can go outside.
you
We
can
can
talk and
elbow.
touch and But inside, there's some rules. But anyway, just to see people's eyeballs in real life is a
Yeah.
big deal. So we love it, and can't wait to see you back. So,
Yep.
wash your hands, sinners, and that's still important.
It's still important.
And wear a mask to protect others.
Yep.
And we'll hopefully see you soon in real life.
Yep. See you guys.
All right,
Thanks.
Bye.